Most people have heard of these pathogens: Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, but understanding how they differ from spoilage bacteria and why they're particularly dangerous in processed foods requires going deeper into the microbiology. These aren't just bad bugs, they're assassins that give no warning before they strike. Spoilage bacteria are, in a strange way, your allies. They're the organisms that make foods smell bad, look wrong, develop slime, or produce visible mold. They're competing with pathogens for resources, and their presence usually means food is obviously unacceptable. You won't eat it because your senses scream warnings. But pathogenic bacteria operate differently. Many don't produce obvious signs of their presence. Food contaminated with Salmonella often looks, smells, and tastes completely normal. Listeria grows silently in refrigerated products. Certain strains of E. coli cause no detectable changes in food quality. You consume them unknowingly, and then you get sick. This makes them particularly dangerous in processed foods that consumers assume are safe. Let's look at each pathogen's ecology. Listeria monocytogenes thrives in cold, wet environments. It grows at refrigerator temperatures, which is unusual for pathogens. This makes it particularly problematic in ready-to-eat refrigerated foods like deli meats, soft cheeses, and smoked fish. These products are typically consumed without further cooking, so any Listeria present goes directly into your body. For healthy adults, this often causes flu-like illness. For pregnant women, elderly people, or immunocompromised individuals, it can be fatal. Salmonella contamination is most associated with poultry, eggs, and, surprisingly, spices. This pathogen doesn't grow in food at refrigerator temperatures, but it survives. Cooking kills it, but if you undercook chicken or cross-contaminate raw poultry with ready-to-eat foods, you're at risk. The spice connection surprises people, but spices are often produced in countries with minimal sanitation standards, and they're not typically heated before use. That curry powder sitting in your pantry could harbor Salmonella. E. coli, particularly the O157 H7 strain, is most problematic in ground beef and fresh produce. Grinding distributes contamination throughout meat, so even rare burgers pose serious risks. Processing can distribute contamination in frightening ways. One contaminated chicken in a production facility can contaminate thousands of nuggets through shared equipment. One contaminated batch of ground beef can enter millions of hamburgers across multiple brands. This is why recalls sometimes affect massive quantities of product from multiple retailers. The industrial scale of food processing means contamination, when it occurs, reaches unprecedented numbers of consumers. Practical risk reduction starts with understanding which products pose highest risks for which pathogens. Pregnant women should avoid deli meats or heat them until steaming hot before consumption because of Listeria risk. Ground beef should always be cooked to 160 degrees Fahrenheit because of E. coli contamination potential. Poultry requires thorough cooking to 165 degrees for Salmonella. These aren't suggestions, they're evidence-based safety measures. Recognizing high-risk products means understanding food categories. Ready-to-eat foods that don't require cooking pose higher risks because there's no kill step. Raw or undercooked animal products are risky. Products with lots of handling during production have more contamination opportunities. When recalls are announced, pay attention. Sign up for recall notifications if that service is available in your country. Taking recalled products seriously isn't paranoid, it's responding appropriately to documented contamination. The latest detection methods are increasingly sophisticated. Whole genome sequencing can trace contamination back to specific production facilities. Rapid testing methods identify pathogens in hours rather than days. But these technologies can't prevent all outbreaks. Production volume is so massive and testing samples so small relative to total output that contaminated products regularly reach consumers despite rigorous testing protocols. The testing is better than nothing, but it's not a guarantee. Your own precautions at home, proper cooking, avoiding cross-contamination, storing foods at safe temperatures matter as much as what happens at the factory. Maybe more, because you're the final control point before food enters your body.